I love it when the religious think they're getting one over on atheists when they prove that they haven't got the slightest clue what it is they're talking about and they're running on pure emotion. And this is another case where a theist is convinced that they've got the truth and he's going to hunt down atheists and tell them what it is. Too bad he fails so utterly painfully.
Hi, I'm Jason V. Human. Another episode of Axiom TV.
Okay, why exactly are you walking around in the woods? And I think that's an honest question, and one that I have a lot. You'll get people showing footage that has nothing at all to do with what they're talking about. You'll get them playing video games or some sporting event when they're talking about philosophy. What exactly are they trying to get across? I don't get it.
This episode, we want to talk about how can we prove God?
Oh, please don't tell me you're going to try that idiotic "look at the trees" crap. Please, oh please don't do that.
How can we prove that there really is a God? That there really is a superior being in consciousness that created all of this? How can we prove that human life has purpose?
Why do I get the feeling that you're not actually going to have any answers to those questions?
Well, the simple way that I go about solving that problem is by imagining the universe devoid of life.
You don't actually solve real-world problems with your imagination. Now, you might just dream up some possible solutions, but you can't actually apply them unless they really work in factual reality. But go ahead, let's see what you come up with.
In my mind, if the cosmos had no life, then
you wouldn't be here to wonder about it, would you?
it would still function.
Sure it would. And it did, for billions of years before life on this planet ever evolved. Is this somehow a revelation you didn't understand?
There would still be quasars and earthquakes and tornadoes and supernovas and black holes.
So far, so good. All of those things have nothing whatsoever to do with life and don't require life to exist. Okay, I'm impressed.
But the cosmos would then have no significance.
Scratch that. I'm not impressed anymore. How can it have no significance? You need to define your terms. Well, maybe you mean that you don't find it significant given your religious beliefs. That just proves how ridiculous your religious beliefs are.
As far as we know of, Earth is the only planet with life on it.
That we have evidence for? Yes, but we keep finding more and more Earth-like planets out there, and we suspect that there may be more than 1 billion of them in our galaxy alone, and our galaxy is just one among an estimated 100 billion in the universe. The chances that there isn't more life out there is absurdly small, just in statistical terms.
And therefore, the cosmos, so far as we know, is only purposed to support life on Earth.
Which is a ridiculous claim to make. Life is a byproduct of the universe. The universe doesn't exist so that life could evolve. But this is what happens when you start with a belief and then insist that your belief accurately represents reality. It makes you come to some really bizarre conclusions.
Our skin is nothing else other than a spacesuit in itself. Our bodies, if you will.
It doesn't do a very good job if you think about it, considering how much of the universe is completely inhospitable to our form of life. We can only survive in a relatively narrow range of temperature. We require the right kind of atmosphere to live and the right kind of food and water to eat. A huge percentage of our own planet can't support human life without significant technological assistance. Why would your God create a universe where virtually none of it actually supports the life that it's supposed to exist for? No editing, huh? Well, no thinking either, so I guess I can't be surprised.
And we know that without our bodies, then we would have no life.
Yet theists seem to think that one day we're going to discard our bodies and go to some imaginary heaven to be eternal slaves to some supernatural master. It's times like this that I wonder if these people actually pay attention to anything that they have to say.
And without Earth to support our bodies, then we would have no life.
Because we evolved to fit into the ecosystem of Earth. Now, that isn't saying that there might not be other planets out there that are close enough to let us live on them, but sure, if Earth had never developed at the right place or on the right kind of star, you wouldn't be here pontificating about ridiculous things like gods.
And without the cosmos to house Earth as well as our bodies, then we would have no life.
Did you actually have a point here, or are you just lost in the woods and the delirium is taking over?
Therefore, the significance and purpose of the cosmos is to support life.
Does not follow. Life exists because it happened to come about as a consequence of the natural laws of the universe. That's like saying that dogs exist for the purpose of supporting fleas. But I know you're so ideologically set in your ways, you're going to refuse to see the facts for what they are.
Another way we can go about proving this is the fact that there is light.
Now, wait a minute. You started off saying that you could prove God, yet you haven't even attempted to do so. You didn't even mention the word throughout your previous diatribe. You don't know what logic is, do you?
The very presence of light reveals that it would have no reason for even being a part of the universe, a feature of the universe, unless it was purposed to benefit life itself.
That's what happens when you start from an irrational premise. You keep falling down the ridiculous religious rabbit hole, assuming that everything has to fit your premise. But of course, light is just a form of energy that our eyes evolved to be able to take advantage of. It was here for billions of years before life ever showed up on this planet. What was the purpose of light before life if it has no purpose without life? Maybe you need to stop and think about this a little.
Because light is meant to not only be felt, not only the radioactive heat from the sun is meant to be felt.
Radiation isn't light. Radiation is energy. You don't have to feel radiation to be affected by it. And there you go again, asserting purpose. Just because you blindly claim it has a purpose doesn't mean that you've proven that it has a purpose. But do try again.
But it is also meant to be seen.
It's meant to be seen, huh? Citation needed.
That is how we can prove that there is a God and that life does have a purpose.
You have done nothing of the sort. You can't just assert unsupported claims and then insist that an unjustified cause was responsible. How does this not also prove that unicorns exist? Hey, maybe unicorns created the universe so that humans could exist to tell stories about them. It makes every bit as much sense as what you're saying.
Because why would the great deity, the higher consciousness, purpose a warehouse to support life unless also there's an intention of a purpose for that life that the cosmos supports?
absolutely nothing you said in that last sentence makes any rational sense at all. You simply assert that there's a great deity, which you haven't proven. You claim that said deity created the universe, for which you have no evidence. You pretend that that deity created life, again without a shred of objective proof. And then you want us to believe that this imaginary friend of yours has a purpose for life. When do you think you're going to get around to proving any of this? Never? That's what I thought.
Signing out. From nature.
You know, maybe instead of wandering around aimlessly in the woods, you might want to get an education so you stop looking like such an idiot. And this is one of those people who, under other circumstances, just might qualify for my shallow end of the gene pool playlist. I mean, there's just nothing intelligent here. If you want to know why atheists laugh at theists, you need to look no further than this video, because even though he claims that basic logic proves the existence of God, he clearly has no idea what logic actually is. And that's the problem. Theists spend more time dealing with their feelings and pretty much no time whatsoever concerned about the facts. It's all about bald assertion and not at all about dealing with reality. I'm sure this guy is incapable of questioning his preconceptions. That's why he's out wandering around in the middle of nowhere making an intellectual fool of himself. And I doubt anyone is surprised. This is the quality of argument that theists are capable of. Pathetic, isn't it?
Everything changes.